Oliver and 5764 are probably the oldest engines stabled at Warrborough sheds. Both have seen long working lives, but it was becoming apparent that both were in need of an overhaul. Swindon Works could attend to 5764, and thus he was taken by George to the Western region and to be overhauled. Doncaster was busy overhauling many of the express engines on the Eastern region, and Darlington was occupied building new Peppercorn Pacifics, so Oliver's overhaul would have to wait. Oliver didn't mind waiting to be overhauled, so he continued to do his work without hurry or fuss. With 5764 out of the count, Mr. Waterman was searching for another engine in the shunter yard at Warrborough, and, after looking through the loco books, he found one. A few weeks after Percival left for the Midland region, Mr. Waterman arrived to address the engines.
I have found a new shunter to fill in for 5764 until Tyler returns some crew.
Where is this new shunter from, sir?
He's coming up from Portsmouth. He's just been overhauled at Brighton and has been working around the Folkestone Harbour area.
Folkestone Harbour? But most of the engines that work there are elderly. I mean, sure they can hold their own, but do you think a Wainwright R1 can handle the workload there, sir?
Wait and see, 92 Squadron. He's surprisingly chipper for his age. He'll be arriving later today, so do look out for him.
Mr. Waterman walked away to his office, leaving the engines to ponder what class of engine would arrive.
I was thinking a Drummond M7, if they are coming up from that neck of the southern region.
Maybe even the USA tank. You know, the S100s, they found a new lease of life at dock shunters at Southampton.
I heard the E2 are shunters, aren't they?
Not very good ones. But it's not their fault. The USA tanks replaced them at Southampton because of their wheelbase.
What say you, Oliver?
We will see, my friends. Later that afternoon, Oliver was bringing a goods train from Granton to Warrborough. Come along, I'll have you lot in Warrborough in no time. No hurry, we don't mind being late. Oliver's valves were beginning to leak steam, and his speed began to drop. Not long now. Oliver struggled into Hambleton Goods Loop to allow another train to pass. His driver checked him over to make sure he was alright. I'm fine, Mr. O'Connell. I can make it to Warrborough.
I'm not sure, old boy, but let's see if you can.
Pitch rumbled past with an express, whistling to the old engine. Oliver gave a blast of his whistle and waited to depart. Soon, Oliver puffed out of the goods loop and onto the main line. He struggled on for about a mile, before stalling in the middle of the line.
That's torn it.
The guard walked back to the signal box to alert all oncoming traffic. It had only been 5 minutes when Oliver heard a strange puffing sound. The engine buffered up to the brake van and started to push the train the rest of the way to Warrborough goods yard. Oliver didn't see who the engine was until wagons began clanking about as the engine arranged the train. Soon the newcomer rolled alongside with a van.
Oh, hello there. You must be stabled here.
I am indeed. Oliver cut off when he realized the engine sitting next to him was a London, Brighton and South Coast Railway Stroudley Terrier.
Something wrong?
No, I wasn't expecting an engine of your class being here.
Well, your shedmaster needed a new shunter. It just so happened I was the only one available, and so, yeah, here I am.
I see. Well, I'm Oliver, built 1900 Stratford.
I'm Stepney, built 1875 Brighton.
Hang on, you're older than me.
And some would wonder why BR would keep an 83-year-old design in working order.
Well, the railways aren't what they used to be, are they?
Indeed they aren't. Well, I better get to work while you go and rest. Cheerio.
Oliver watched Stepney marshal the box van behind another goods train before rolling off to the sheds. Later that night, Stepney had a chance to meet the other engines.
You know, I'd never thought I'd see engines from every region in one place.
Well, there's plenty to see here.
When Mr. Waterman said an engine was coming up from Portsmouth, I'd forgotten the terriers worked around that area.
Well, seeing as my class can negotiate most of the wooden bridges along the Folkestone Harbour line, it makes sense.
That is true. It has been a while since I've been that far down south. Anything new?
Not really, but the South Eastern Electrics have been working most of the passenger trains over the Portsmouth line. Q1s and U-boats come round to take the goods trains, and the occasional merchant navy appears in Portsmouth.
Just as Stepney finished, Morgan rolled onto the shed road parallel to the little tank engine.
Phew! I didn't think it would take that long to get back.
Where have you been, Morgan?
I was holding a passengers train for Plymouth to Newton, and I was held up by a goods train outside Exeter, and it took ages for it to get to the top of the hill beyond the station.
I thought Plymouth was in Western Region Control.
Well, it is, but the SR has its own station there.
Ah, I see. Oh, where's my manners? Morgan, this is Stepney. He's here to help out with the shunting till Tyler gets back.
Morgan looked around for the new shunter, but didn't see him till Stepney spoke.
Down here, love.
Morgan looked down and saw the South Coast Railway Terrier.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see you there.
It's alright. I had that problem with the 9Fs that visited when I was allocated to Bournemouth for a while.
I think I remember seeing you a couple of times on the trains to Weymouth. I'm Morgan, by the way.
Pleasure to meet you. Well, I suggest we all get some sleep. A busy day tomorrow.
The next morning, Stepney and his crew were up before the rest of the fleet. Stepney rolled into the carriage sidings. Gently, he buffered up to a rake of ex-LNE Arctiques and BR Mark 1s that would be used for the morning commuter train to Peterborough.
Come along, ladies. You're all rostered for the commuter train to the Eastern region.
The coaches followed quite well. They thought this engine knows how to handle coaches very well. Stepney proved to be very useful over the next few weeks, and in mid-February, Tyler arrived back from Crewe. One day, Tyler was resting when Stepney bustled in with a rake of vans ready for the afternoon goods to Liverpool.
Oh, hello there. You must be Tyler.
I am. You must be the engine who was filling in for me.
Yes, I am. My name's Stepney.
Well, it's good to meet you. What have I missed?
I don't really know, but from what the others have told me, they've had a diesel come here on trial and Oliver is in desperate need for an overhaul.
Oh, I do hope he's alright.
Oliver was not alright. He was assigned to a coal train from Newton to Warrborough. Like Percival, Oliver had to deal with Pineburn Bank. Oliver attacked the bank with all his strength, but his speed began to drop. Not long now. Not long now. Oliver gradually ground to a halt on the bank, steam leaking from his valves. His driver stepped in front to speak with the old engine.
Your valves are leaking badly, old boy. I don't think we'll be able to continue to the goods yard.
I'm not giving up so easily, Mr. O'Connell. Let's give it our all.
Alright, Oliver, let's do it.
Back in Warrborough, Stepney and Tyler were busy arranging trucks when the yardmaster came over. Stepney, clear a line, Oliver will be here soon.
I thought he stalled on the bank.
He did, but he's managed to restart and will be here soon.
Righto.
Stepney shunted a rake of coal wagons onto another line and waited for Oliver to arrive.
I hope Oliver hasn't made his situation worse.
I do too.
Soon, Oliver rolled into the yard, red in the face and exhausted. Maiden.
Yes, you did, Oliver.
Oliver was helped back to the sheds by Stepney, where Mr. Waterman was waiting.
Well, Oliver, I have good news and bad news. Which would you like to hear first?
Bad news?
The bad news is that you've burst several valves with the stunt you just pulled, and your boiler is leaking badly.
Oliver looked to his buffers.
However, I have received word that Stratford Works can attend to your overhaul. You'll be taken down on to pick up goods tomorrow.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Well, how ironic. The day you leave for your overhaul, and it's the day I go home.
Your stay is up?
Unfortunately, yes. I hope we meet again, Oliver.
So do I, Stepney. So do I. The next morning, all the engines came to see Stepney off. His paint was spotless and his brasswork shone like gold.
Safe travels, Stephanie.
It was a pleasure to have you working here.
And it was a pleasure to be in the company of such great engines. I hope we'll meet up again in the future.
All of the engines agreed, and with a loud blast of his teapot whistle, Stepney roared out of Warrborough MPT and home into Portsmouth.